what's up guys, in this video we're going to be building something a little bit different. It's actually a really lot different. In my Merry Christmas video, I promised that I would 100% make the highest rated comment that was in the comment section of that video as a special Christmas present to you guys. And well, whilst we got loads of reasonable requests like build a mall, build an airport, we even got one that asked please build a unicorn pulling Santa's sleigh. Very reasonable, normal requests. However, we did get this guy, and I kind of asked for this. We are going to build in this video with 57 thumbs up, the highest amount on the entire video. We're going to be building a koala with the head of a panda, climbing some power lines, whilst shooting an arrow, a miniature version of the Ender Dragon. Yeah, that kind of sounds insane, doesn't it? That's because it is. Now, I don't know what psycho came up with that. Although I kind of do, because when I rewatched the video, I found this. It could be something absolutely insane. Like, it could be a koala with a head of a panda climbing some power lines whilst shooting a bow and arrow at, I don't know, a miniature version of the Ender Dragon. Just as an example. Something absolutely insane. Yeah, I probably should have never have said that, should I? I brought this upon myself. I should have just suggested something normal, shouldn't I? I'm just gonna have to make it. I promised I'd do it. So, without any further ado, why don't we build this thing? So, believe it or not, guys, I've not really built anything quite this insane before. I'm not 100% sure where to begin. I figure I'll start with the actual power lines. I'm thinking something that looks very similar to like an old school kind of what we have now, actually, telephone pole. You know, the wooden ones with the bits of metal at the top? That's what I'm thinking to start off with. I'm here in my actual city. Yeah, that's right. I'm building it in my city, of all places, and we're just going to have to get this thing started. So I'm going to start off with a base. So I think that the base of the pole should sort of be this shape. This is the sort of scale we're working with. So we're going to have something that's about that wide around the bottom, and we might even add to it a little bit later on. And I'm thinking something that is quite tall. So I want the koala to be about the size of, let's say, like a Minecraft skin is how big I want the koala to be. / panda hybrid. So it has to be a pretty decent sized pole that we're working with. So we might actually increase the thickness of this. So we have kind of like 2 blocks kind of like forming a circle at the base. We're going to make that 3, and that's about as big as we're going to make the base of this. We're going to make this like a 3x3x3x3 circle down at the bottom, which I know circle is kind of like a broad name for this, but you know, it's about as circular as you can get in Minecraft using so few blocks. So we're going to make the base about this big, and we are going to make it about as tall as this. We don't want to go crazy with this. We don't want this thing to go into the sky and beyond. So we're starting off with this very, very simple base. I'm going to build up the rest of these, and then we're going to add some texture to it. Okay, so that's the base of the pole. That's the easy bit done. What we now have to do, I've kind of realized we have to expand this at the top. We kind of have to make it more like a cross shape. So I'm just going to extend this out either side. I actually don't know how far I extended it out on that side. Is that equal? Yeah, that actually looks about equal. So I'm going to extend this out, and the Ender Dragon is going to be about that away, very near the Crossy Road chicken. And I'm just going to yeah, I've got to make these circular as well, because it'd be kind of weird if they weren't. So I might even have to extend the top of the pole here outwards a little bit more. Maybe we do have to texture this thing a little bit better than what we're doing currently. We're just going to expand this out at the top just so it looks like this, and then maybe like a 1 and a 3 there. Yeah, okay. And we're just going to make this look a little bit more cross shape, and then we'll add like bits of metal to it and stuff in like the form of stone, and we may even use some cyan hardened clay and some polished andesite and stuff like that is what we're probably going to be going for. But yeah, this is going fairly well so far. We almost have the telephone pole itself built, or at least the harder part of it now. I figure that once we've got the shape of it down, it can only go uphill from there. I figure, I hope. But, yeah, I'm just going to finish adding a bit of a top on here. I'm also going to expand the top up a little bit, like the center part, right about here. And, yeah, I guess it kind of looks like a crucifix-ish shape. I might also focus a little bit on making it a little bit rounder, and we can take another look at it once, actually, we can take a look at this now. Yeah, so we're not too far off. We might have to extend out the two arms of it a little bit more, as a matter of fact, yeah. Alright, there we go. We kind of do have a nice cross shape going here, which isn't 100% what we're looking for, but now we can add in some other blocks. Maybe we can add in a little bit of light grey and perhaps even a little bit of cyan hardened clay. And what we're looking to do now, I think we'll use cyan hardened clay actually. What we're looking to do now is we just kind of want to establish that sort of like power effect. Like we kind of want to add enough metal and stuff that this actually looks like a power lines. Kind of. So we want to add some like polished andesite, which will look very metally. We want to add some to the corners here just to make it look a little bit more metally, like I said. Maybe even we want to add some accents here. So maybe even we want to build some in, and maybe even up here as well. I think I'm going to extend this bit up a little bit as well. Maybe I'll just shape that a little bit more, and we can even make this more circular in places. So there's no reason why we can't make this a bit more shaped. There's no reason why we can't actually make this there's no reason why we can't make it look a little bit nicer, really. There's no reason why we can't shape this, make it look as though that it's actually circular instead of a big giant cross, now that we actually have the shape involved. And I think that the build will actually look quite a bit better for it. It is going to require a little bit more work on my part, but you know, what can you do? I definitely think that the addition of adding the, yeah, that just looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Like, that actually looks round now instead of what we had previously, which was just kind of like straight. We can't have the same effect down below. We can't have the same effect for the pole that's actually climbing, but there's no reason why we can't have a nice shaped top. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Now we have something that is a lot more cylindrical. That looks a lot nicer than what we had previously. It kind of looks like a rolling pin, actually. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to build the exact same thing on the opposite side. I'm going to shape this, and then we can take a look at the pole that we've created so far. There we go, that is looking a lot better. So we've added a lot more of a shape to that, and now all we have to do is we just have to add a few more bits of details. So maybe we have to, up at the top here, maybe we have to add some ways in which the actual power would be delivered to the other lines. Maybe something like that. So maybe we can add a couple of accents with some metal up here. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good if you ask me. So what, that's just 2 blocks here, and then we have 2 blocks coming down the side. We just add a little bit more metal, and if we add something at the top also, so if we have like this that sticks out, something like this would actually look pretty good. And if we have some oak wood slabs that connects down to the top, maybe something like that. And if we have maybe like iron bars here, which could play a little bit of a role, maybe get something that's actually like iron involved. And yeah, that's looking pretty decent. That's not too bad of a telephone pole slash electric line slash whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know, but it definitely looks as though it fits the part now. And if you ask me, it actually looks ever so slightly boring. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add some dark oak wood stairs, just random, here and about the place. We're just going to add some dark oak wood stairs, upside down, regular facing, facing left, facing right. We're just going to add some into the telephone pole, or electric line. You know what, I keep forgetting what this is actually supposed to be, but in my head it's the same thing. But we're just adding a little bit of a texture to it, kind of like that. And yeah, that something like that actually looks quite good. A little bit more on the other side, and I'll be quite satisfied. And then we'll have what should look like, hopefully, a pretty decent power line. I think, you know what, I think that I've actually got it. It's supposed to be a power line, but still, this is what I have in my head, like a nice wooden power line. I think that the pole would be more damaged than anything else. I don't think I'm going to mess with the top, because I don't really want to mess about with the nice shape that we have up there. But yeah, guys, that's a pretty decent looking power line. All we have to do now is make a panda/koala hybrid, and then we're like halfway there. Alright guys, we have the telephone pole, we have to build the koala with the head of a panda. So I have my materials that I think that I'm going to need. I'll probably also need a few more as well, and I think that we should just get stuck into this. So I think that the panda's head, which is what we're building a panda head and a koala body, should be 1, 2, 3, and it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Just had to count that out for my own sake. I think it should be about the size of a regular Minecraft skin. It should be the size of a Minecraft skin. It should hang off the top of the pole here, and it should probably look like a Minecraft skin as well, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to build like a big white cube for the head. I'm going to build like a grey sort of big rectangular shape for the body. And once I have the body and once I have the head kind of like, you know, kind of like semi-built, I think that I'm then going to start building the arms and kind of attaching the Panda Koala hybrid to the telephone pole. So I'm just going to build kind of like rough outlines here. And then, after I've built the rough outlines, I am going to, like I said, I'm going to actually, like, build the arms and legs and stuff. So, I'll build the outline, and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so this is what we're kind of working with here. We have the torso, and we have the head. And I think that I'm now going to kind of, like, put the arms and legs in. And we need one set of arms and legs that are kind of, like, grabbing onto the pole. And we need another set of arms and legs. Maybe both legs are grabbing onto the pole, but we definitely need one arm extended shooting an arrow, because if you guys may remember, we do have to build a little mini ender dragon for the koala panda hybrid, to actually shoot at. So I'm gonna build in once again kind of like where the arms and legs are gonna go, and then we'll apply the detail afterwards. Okay, so this isn't perfect, but we're not going for absolutely perfect, like, lifestyle models here, but we do have what is pretty much like the body of what is going to look like a koala with a panda's head attached to a telephone pole. He is attached kind of, I mean, it's a little bit weird because the leg and the arm doesn't feed directly into the pole properly. Like, really, he should be hanging off a lot more, but if I had to redo it, I'd make the arms first and the legs first and then the head. But, you know, we didn't do it that way around. What can you do? So now all we have to do here is we just have to add a couple of details. So I figured that we can add, like, claws and stuff to our koala. We can definitely add a couple of claws. So maybe just some black wool here and there. Maybe, like, here and here is good. We have to give our panda, like actual features. So maybe like we make a mouth, and the mouth can be down at the bottom here. It can be about this big. We can make a nice big mouth, and we obviously have to make eyes as well. Shall we make the eyes nice and huge as well? Will they look like this? Will we give the panda like dead eyes up top, or shall we actually give the panda like actual proper eyes? There we go. That's kind of cute, actually. That's pretty cute. And then we want to extend the mouth out here a little bit, so maybe something like this. Yeah, but oh yeah, okay. I like this. I like where this is going. Maybe something like this. Panda needs a nose, so we can give it a little bit of a nose there as well. Obviously, you know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll shorten the mouth down here. We'll make it so that the panda's mouth is open, so we can add a little bit of magenta clay there. And maybe we can even have the panda like have something coming out of its mouth. Maybe like maybe if you use like a mixture of birchwood stairs and like birchwood slabs, maybe we can have something coming out of the panda's mouth here. Maybe it's chewing on a little bit of bamboo or something like that. Maybe he's chewing on a little something. I don't know. It's kind of like a cool idea though. I think maybe we can add a little bit of green here. Maybe like that. Maybe one there. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's not too bad at all. Panda needs ears, obviously, doesn't he? What are we looking for? We're looking for ears. We'll obviously have to construct a tail and stuff. So yeah, that's looking pretty decent. We can give this guy ears. Where are the two middle blocks? There they are. Pandas don't have that big ears, do they? So maybe something like that. Maybe even just a tad bit bigger. Do pandas have really small ears or what, guys? Kind of looks like a mouse, like that. I don't hate that though. I don't hate that. It looks kind of like normal-ish. I can't remember the last time I saw a panda. I don't think I've actually seen a panda in person, but there we go. Okay, so we have our panda head. He's chewing on a little bit of bamboo there. Koala body. So the body of the koala, we should just make like a little bit of chest. Shall we make the chest 3D actually? So koalas have like some white under their bellies, right? Or at least this one's going to. I don't know if they do, like in real life or not. Again, I can't remember last time I saw a koala in person. I don't think I actually saw one at the last zoo that I went to. So we can just make that a little bit 3D looking, like that. And koalas also have tails, don't they? So we can make like a little tail coming out of the back here, something like this. I think it's just a really small tail like that. We can maybe even add some like dark grey wool to it, just maybe on like the edge, something like that. That's not too bad. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, is a pretty decent looking panda koala hybrid. I think that looks awesome. Looking at this, that actually looks really cool. Am I the only one thinking? Probably. I'm probably the only one thinking that. Alright, so next thing we have to do is we have to construct a bow. So I'm going to make a very normal bow shape, and then I'll show you what that looks like, because we'll probably add some detail to it. Alright, so I've made a pretty simple looking bow here. Unfortunately for us, we're a little bit hamstringed because the bow has to make it look normal, like 2 blocks wide. I could really do with like either a 1 block wide bow or a 3 block wide bow. Something negative, but unfortunately, what can you do? So this is the bow. It's very, very simple. I've actually forgot the lower half of the string here. How can we make this bow look a little bit better? Well, we can always add some oakwood stairs to it to add a little bit of a curve. We can see if that makes a bit of a difference. It will make a difference. It will make it look a little bit curvy. It will make it look a little bit nicer. We can even add a bit more of a curve here. At the back of the bow, we can add regular and upside down stairs to make it look a little bit more pointy. What else can we do to this bow? Well, we could make the grip of the bow, where our panda friend is actually gripping the bow. We could actually make that a different color. So we could use, say, dark oak wood planks, because we've not used them yet. So maybe we make the first 2 rows here. Maybe we not only make them dark oak wood, but why don't we make them like stairs? Why don't we do like upside down and regular facing dark oak wood stairs to kind of like for the grip of the bow? Like a lot of bows have like a place where you would grip them, and they're like usually a little bit thicker than regular, like than the rest of it sometimes. So maybe we'll just make the grip as well just a little bit thicker there, just to add yet another little bit of detail. And I don't think we have to add too much more to the bow. I think that looks pretty decent. Some things that we can add to the bow to make it a little bit different. We could fray parts of the string. When I say fray parts of the string, we can just add some like light grey to it. We can add a little bit of light grey to the bowstring just to make it look a little bit different. Like if you've never seen like a bowstring close up, it's basically like loads and loads of strands of some sort of fiber, and it's all twisted. So It makes sense that there'd be twists in the string, and it might be a different color in some places, so therefore it might look like that, and that's a pretty decent looking bow. So the next thing we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have our Panda Koala hybrid hanging off of our telephone pole, is we have to make an Ender Dragon, a baby Ender Dragon, a small version of the Ender Dragon. Now, I've actually done this once before, but I'm going to make it a little bit different this time, and it's not going to be a one-sided battle, I think. I think we're going to have our Koala Panda hybrid shooting an arrow at the miniature version of the Ender Dragon, and the Ender Dragon's probably going to be shooting fire back, something like that. So I'll tell you what, I'll have like a rough idea of the Ender Dragon. Like I'll build an Ender Dragon probably about. I don't want to build it too far away. That's the thing. I don't want this to take up a huge part of my world. So I'll build the Ender Dragon probably about here. I think about here is actually pretty good. And we'll make its head like, shall we say, 6 blocks. Like, it'll be a small dragon, right? So 1, 2, 3 that way, and maybe like 1, 2 that way. And is that a row of 5? I think that's a row of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I think that's a row of 6. 6 is actually good. 6 works. So let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. So that's where the dragon's head is going to start, right? It's going to start right about there. We'll have fire coming in from one direction, and we'll have an arrow coming in from the other direction, I think. So yeah, why don't I actually like do a very base model of the Ender Dragon, and then I'll be back to you and we can add details to it and stuff. Okay, so this probably took a lot more time than you might imagine. This took quite a while to put together, but here we have a cute, chunky, dangerous little Ender Dragon body. What do we do with it now? So, I didn't really show you the process of making this in any way, shape, or form, but here it is. It kind of looks like a pig. To be honest with you, it looks like a rotund pig with bat wings, is what this looks like, and that's fine by me. So, we have a few materials here. We have to make what looks like dragon. Now, we have to turn this into a dragon, from a pig to a dragon. So that means we have to make it look a little bit scary. We're going to give it the crazy eyes that the Ender Dragon has. We might even give it angry eyebrows, just because I'm in the mood. Yeah, I kind of like that. We're going to give it angry eyebrows. I'm a fan. We're going to... horns. Horns are a thing, aren't they? Well, how do we make these horns? Something like... that looks awful. That looks terrible. Maybe some short horns like this. Actually, yeah. Oh yeah. I like where this is going. We have to... Nostrils are a thing that this guy has, right? So nostrils, prefer a different material than that. Maybe we have to crack this mouth open. So maybe we have to... something like... So we'll start back here, right? We'll have something that looks maybe like that. Then there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you guys are going to see where this goes. So then we add the black wool back here. And then we taper it up just a little bit. And we add an extra black wool here, 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 here. And then we close this off. We close off that area. There we go. So now we have an open mouth, kinda. We can fill this with something. It can be like magenta hardened clay or something. So that's the open mouth, right? But from that open mouth, what are we going to add? You guys know what we're going to be adding. We're going to be adding a nice little bit of fire. So that's that part done. We do have to add like... We do have to kind of add like, I don't know, like something to the dragon's feet. Maybe on just like the outer blocks. So the feet are unfortunately just 2 blocks wide, just because of how I've made the dragon, because I'm a bit stupid. But that doesn't stop us adding some like toenails or something like that. We can also add like we can't really add scales, guys, to the dragon. Like it's kind of difficult to add these scales. Maybe there should be a different color, but I mean we can add scales in the form of like this grey wool that I've kind of just placed sloppily up the dragon's back. That doesn't look too bad at all, actually. Yeah, that looks pretty decent, actually. I'm just going... This thing looks ridiculous. I'm going to place, cyan hardened clay there instead of the dark grey wool, just to provide some contrast. I love that dragon. That dragon actually looks really, really quite good. And, yeah, we'll do the dragon fireball. Okay, so this dragon fireball... is going to quite simply be made of red, hardened clay, orange, yellow. Yeah, okay, so let's start with yellow hardened clay, right? We need a nice little line of yellow hardened clay, kind of like coming out of the dragon's mouth, kind of like, it kind of wants to spiral out of control. So we have a nice little bit of yellow hardened clay there, right? And then we kind of want to add a little bit of orange, and we're going to finish up with red, and we're kind of like, it's kind of like a cone, like a broken cone, like, the orange wants to get bigger and bigger progressively than the yellow, and it kind of wants to remain like a little bit broken at times like that, and then it kind of wants to end with the red. Now, it really should, in my opinion, at least, it should kind of be a bit more of a gradual effect, right? It should be a bit more gradual than this, but we have been building this for a while. I didn't just have like a weird attack there. I simply tried to get my words out, and I just had to reset my speech. That's what the little blah 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 was for. But okay. Yeah, that kind of looks like ice cream that the Ender Dragon is shooting. So that's not too bad. Yeah, I don't mind that. That looks awful. That looks alright. It doesn't look too bad. So that's the Ender Dragon portion done. All that is left, as required by the comment, is we just need an arrow. Arrow can be made out of oak wood planks is fine. Slabs. Probably arrowhead should be quartz. We're going to use webbing to show the trajectory. Okay, alright, so we can do this. So coming out of the bow, somewhere about, where shall we? Where shall we start this arrow? So it's going to be higher than that, right? So it's going to be higher. And the arrow is probably going to be about here. Yeah, okay. So maybe it's not even hitting the Ender Dragon. It doesn't have to. It's not really 100% necessarily required. Maybe it is actually. Maybe we'll just shove the arrow over here in this direction, just so that it would actually theoretically, about here, would hit the Ender Dragon. And why don't we just very quickly craft ourselves an arrow? So the arrow doesn't have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, I think it looks a little bit better if the arrow looks a little bit bent and stuff in some ways. It might look a little bit better. The arrowhead is simply going to be made out of pretty much quartz. So it can be like this, right? So we'll start off with this sort of shape, and then it obviously needs like this, and that as a point of the arrow, or maybe, okay, so maybe like this, and then that, and then we put something in between there, and then we have like, that looks terrible. Okay, so believe it or not, that was actually quite a bit harder to design than it might look. I think that we have a pretty decent looking arrow here. It doesn't look too bad. I don't really want to add anything else to it, but what we can do is we can add a little bit of a web kind of like around the arrow, just to kind of like show that there's some force being exerted from around it. I mean, if you haven't figured that out, the arrow is basically just kind of like, it's just two wooden slabs spliced together, and you can quite clearly see what the arrowhead is made out of, and we've made it a barbed arrow as well, because it is coming out in a few different directions, and of course, the knocking on point for the arrow is made out of stone slabs once again, stone slabs, and we have stone brick slabs as well. Stone bricks for where you would actually knock the arrow on. I don't know the technical name. And we also have for the fly, we have the just stone slabs, and we have some web coming out of there just to kind of show there is it is flying through the air, it's breaking the sound barrier, and it is going to go towards our old friend the miniature Ender Dragon. Now that is the end of this. Not even a tutorial really. This has just been the process of me making something absolutely mental once again on recording. This is actually probably the coolest thing that I've made ever. I'm actually really happy with this, and this took longer than you might imagine. This has probably taken about an hour and a half in total to put together and design. hopefully you guys like this. I said I'd make it, didn't I? Didn't I tell you that I'd make it? So, you guys came up with it. It was actually really, really fun to do. This is a hybrid koala panda shooting an arrow at the miniature version of the Ender Dragon whilst hanging on for dear life to this electrical telephone slash just power line pole. Yeah, what else do you say about that? What else can you possibly add to that isn't just completely covered by what I just said? The Ender Dragon looks very, very angry, shooting some what seems to be very, very cool fire. And we have the panda, which seems almost assassinly ninja-like in composure. And he's just not too bothered. He's not bothered about the fire. He's hoping that the arrow kills the dragon before the dragon even becomes a problem. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. The only reason I've made this is because, like I said I'd make it. It was actually really, really fun to put together. It was great fun. I wish I would have done it on like a live stream or something, but I wouldn't have that much time in the next coming weeks to actually do something like this on stream, so it's kind of unfortunate. If you ever want to see me do something like this again, I don't know. Make sure this video gets loads of likes and comments and stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.